Good morning to all of you. I welcome you to Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. Myself and Bharat Kumar working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. In today's class, we are going to start Unit 3. So basically the Unit 3 has been divided into two parts. In the first part, we are going to study the fundamentals of electromagnetism. And in the second part, we are going to study the transformers. So the Unit 3 has been divided into two parts. In the first part, we are going to concentrate on fundamentals of electromagnetism. And in the second part, we are going to study about the transformers. Coming to the electromagnetism, so in this electromagnetism, first we are going to study the important terminology terms or important definitions that are involved in electromagnetism. Next, we are going to study the concepts of self-inductance and mutual inductance, which we are going to apply to study the transformers. Finally, we are going to study the coefficient of coupling. Coming to the transformers, in transformers, we will study the principle of operation of transformer. Next, we are going to study the construction details of transformer. And finally, we will derive the EMF equation of a transformer and its transformation ratio. These are the contents that we are going to cover in Unit 3. Okay, let's move on to the first concept. So let us discuss the important terminology or terms that are going to be involved in electromagnetism. So before going into the discussion about the concepts in electromagnetism, let us watch an AV which will be very useful to understand the concept of electromagnetism.
Electromagnetism, or the electromagnetic force, is one of the four fundamental forces of nature. It generates light and energy and holds atoms, matter, and the world as we know it together. Electromagnetism is a branch of physics that studies the interactions between electric and magnetic fields. All matter has an electric charge, which can be positive, negative, or zero. Opposite charges attract, while like charges repel. These electric forces bring and hold atoms together. And when atoms gain a positive or negative charge through the transfer of electrons, a measurable electric field will form. If those electrically charged particles start to move, the field will become a flowing electric current and form a magnetic field around it. Under the right circumstances, interacting electric and magnetic fields can continuously produce and sustain one another. This generates an electromagnetic field that transmits waves of electromagnetic energy or radiation into space. The intensity of this radiation is determined by its frequency. These frequencies make up what's known as the electromagnetic spectrum. Near the middle of the spectrum is visible light, such as light emitted by stars, fireflies, and computer screens. On either side are invisible electromagnetic waves. On one end are long, low-frequency radio waves that broadcast television and radio signals, microwaves that carry telephone signals and cook food, and infrared waves emitted by fires. On the other are short, high-frequency wavelengths, ultraviolet, X, and gamma radiation. Unlike low-frequency waves, these waves can pass through the human body, making them useful for medical applications. While electromagnetism has daily applications, it's also the engine that drives the planet as a whole. Thousands of miles below the Earth's surface, a layer of liquid metals churn and flow. This generates electric currents that then produce magnetic fields that all together encompass the entire planet. Called a geodynamo, this process causes Earth's poles to attain positive and negative charges, turning the planet into a giant electromagnet. This phenomenon also creates a protective layer around the planet. It shields us from the most harmful radiation in space, leaving us to enjoy a world held together by the strange and fundamental force of electromagnetism.
Okay, now coming to the first one. The first one is nothing but magnetic circuit. What is a magnetic circuit? Just like electrical circuit, in case of electromagnetism, we are going to study the magnetic circuit also. The definition of magnetic circuit will be like this. It is a closed path followed by magnetic flux. Magnetic circuit is a closed path followed by magnetic flux. What is an electrical circuit? Electrical circuit is a closed path where current flows. Similarly, magnetic circuit is also a closed path where the magnetic flux or magnetic lines of force will flow. So now let us consider a coil of N turns wound around an iron core like this. So I have considered a magnetic circuit. This is the iron core. Around this iron core I wound a coil. So how many turns are there in this coil? The circular turns are N. So surround this iron core I have considered a coil which is having N turns. So when you allow a current through this wire, through this winding or through this coil, what happens? A magnetic flux will be produced in the core. So when a current I is passed through the coil, when a current I is passed through the coil, a magnetic flux is set up in the core. So this is called the magnetic flux. So when you allow a current to flow through this coil, a magnetic flux is going to be set up around this core. How this magnetic flux is going to flow? The magnetic flux flows in the closed path. So what is the closed path here? When you start from the point A, it goes to B, then it goes to C. From C, the magnetic flux moves to D, and again from D it comes to A. So that's how the magnetic flux flows through the closed path. This closed path A, B, C, D, A is going to be called as magnetic circuit. The closed path A, B, C, D, A is called as magnetic circuit. So the closed path followed by magnetic flux is called as magnetic circuit. So that's what we have explained by using the diagram. Okay. Next one, magnetomotive force. So magnetomotive force is equivalent to electromotive force. In electrical circuits we have voltage. Voltage is nothing but potential difference, or we are going to call it as EMF, electromotive force. So what is EMF? It is the force which causes the current to flow in a circuit. So EMF is the force which causes current to flow in an electrical circuit. Similarly, equivalent to EMF, there is a term called magnetomotive force in magnetic circuit. Magnetomotive force is defined as the force which causes the flux to flow in a magnetic circuit. EMF is the force which causes current to flow in an electrical circuit. Similarly, MMF is the force which causes the flux to flow in a magnetic circuit. So MMF is defined as the force behind the flow of flux. So the force behind the flow of flux production in a magnetic circuit is called magnetomotive force. Alternatively, we can define this MMF as the amount of work required to carry a unit pole once through the entire magnetic field is called as magnetomotive force. EMF can also be defined as potential difference. What is potential difference? The work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another point in an electrical circuit. Similarly, we can define magnetomotive force as the work done to carry a unit pole once through the entire magnetic field is called as magnetomotive force. So we can define in two ways. One is the force which causes the flux to flow in a magnetic circuit. Second one, the work required to move a unit pole once through the entire magnetic circuit is called as magnetomotive force. The symbol used to represent magnetomotive force is MMF. And mathematically, we can express MMF as N into I. Because when you, in the circuit diagram, here when you pass a current I, this current I will flow through the total turns in the coil. How many turns I have considered here? N turns. That means the current will flow through all the N turns. Then a magnetic flux will be set up. That flux will flow through the magnetic circuit. So that magnetic flux will depend upon the current and turns. That's why mathematically we are going to represent MMF as N into I. Here N is nothing but number of turns of the winding or coil, and I is the current flowing through the coil. And what are the units of MMF? Ampere turns. The unit of current is ampere. Number of turns, we are going to call it as turns. That's why the unit of MMF is ampere turns. This is all about magnetomotive force. Next one, magnetic field intensity. The magnetic field intensity is defined as the magnetomotive force per unit length. MMF per unit length is called as magnetomotive force. So it is also known as the magnetic field intensity is also known as magnetic field strength. Magnetic field strength, or we can also call it as magnetic force. The magnetic field intensity is going to be defined as the MMF per unit length. What are the other names for magnetic field intensity? It can be called as magnetic field strength or magnetic force. Mathematically, you can represent magnetic field intensity as MMF per length, and we know that MMF is equal to Ni, so Na divided by L. Here L is the mean length. Please remember that L is the mean length of the winding or coil, and we know that the L is measured in terms of meters. Now from this expression we can derive the units of magnetic field intensity. So ampere turns, the unit of MMF is ampere turns, which is in the numerator. In the denominator we are having length, so the unit of length is meters. Hence the unit of magnetic field intensity will be ampere turns per meter. And other unit or SI unit of magnetic field intensity is Henry. We are going to measure magnetic field intensity in terms of Henry. Henry is the other unit for magnetic field intensity. Okay, let's move on to the next concept, magnetic flux. What is the definition of magnetic flux? The total number of magnetic lines of force. We already know this. The total number of magnetic lines of force in the magnetic field is called as magnetic flux. The total number of magnetic lines of force in a magnetic field is called as magnetic flux. And what is the symbol used to represent magnetic flux? Pi. Pi is the symbol used to denote magnetic flux. And what are the units? The units of magnetic flux is Weber. Please remember that. And 1 Weber is equal to almost 10 power 8 flux lines. So what is the value of 1 Weber? 1 Weber is almost equal to 10 power 8 flux lines. Next one, magnetic flux density. So the magnetic flux per unit area is called as magnetic flux density, and mathematically we can represent magnetic flux density as magnetic flux per area. And the symbol used to represent magnetic flux density is B. So B can be written as pi by A. Here pi is the magnetic flux and A is the area of cross section. Area of cross section of the conductor, and we know the units of area of cross section is meter square. And hence from this expression we can derive the units as Weber per meter square. The SI unit of flux is Tesla. The other unit is Tesla. And from formula we can derive the units of magnetic flux density as Weber per meter square. Both are the units of B. Next one, reluctance. So reluctance is just equivalent to the resistance in an electrical circuit. So reluctance is the measure of opposition of magnetic flux. What is resistance? Opposition of charge flow or opposition of current. Here in case of magnetic circuit, the flux is going to be flow in a magnetic circuit. The opposition of the magnetic flux flow is called as reluctance. So the reluctance is the measure of opposition that magnetic circuit offers to the magnetic flux. So the opposition of magnetic flux in a magnetic circuit is called as reluctance. And the symbol used to represent reluctance is S, capital S. Mathematically, what is the formula for resistance? In case of electrical circuit, R is nothing but V by I. V is the voltage, I is the current. Now what is equivalent to V in case of magnetic circuit? That is MMF. What is equivalent to current? Flux. And what is equivalent to resistance? S. So mathematically, reluctance can be written as magnetomotive force per magnetic flux. So we can write by using symbols as S is equal to MMF by pi. And what are the units of MMF? Ampere turns. And what are the units of flux? Webers. So the unit of reluctance is ampere turns per Weber. So units is ampere turns per Weber. Next one, permeability. The permeability is just opposite to reluctance. Permeability is the ability to allow magnetic flux through the circuit. It is the conducting power of magnetic lines of force or magnetic flux. That's what I told you. Permeability is the ability to allow magnetic flux through the circuit. Magnetic flux is nothing but magnetic lines of force. So that's why it is defined as the conducting power. What about the reluctance? It is the opposing power, and permeability is the conducting power. So the conducting power for magnetic lines of force or magnetic flux is called as permeability. So it relates flux density and field intensity. So permeability will give the relation between magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity. How these two are going to be related? So permeability is equal to B by H. Magnetic flux density divided by magnetic field intensity. Mu is equals to B by H. Okay. And the units are Weber per ampere turns meter. We know that the units of B as Weber per meter square. And units of H is nothing but ampere turns per meter. Okay. Here 1 meter square and 1 meter cancels. Then we are going to get Weber per, the M will go into the denominator, ampere turn meter. So from the formula itself, we have derived the units of permeability, which is nothing but Weber per ampere turn meter. Permeability is more, then the material is going to conduct more number of magnetic lines of force. So the greater the permeability of the material, the greater is its conductivity for magnetic flux. So if the permeability is high, then the more number of magnetic lines of force will pass through the material. If permeability is less, then the flow of magnetic flux is also less in the magnetic circuit. That's why we are going to call the permeability as conducting power. Next, absolute permeability. Absolute permeability is defined as the permeability of free space. So permeability of free space or air. So the permeability of free space or air is called as absolute permeability. So we are going to consider this absolute permeability as the reference value to measure the permeabilities of other materials. So the absolute permeability will be taken as the reference value to measure the permeabilities of different materials, other materials. Okay, that we are going to use in magnetic circuits. So what is absolute permeability? Mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. And what are the units here? The units of the permeability is nothing but the units of the absolute permeability. So which is nothing but Weber per ampere turns meter. Please keep that in mind. Absolute permeability is the reference value which is used to measure the permeabilities of other materials that are used in magnetic circuits. Relative permeability. This relative permeability is going to be denoted by using mu suffix r. It compares permeability of the material with the permeability of free space. As I told you earlier, the permeability of free space is the value which we are going to take as a reference to measure the permeability of other material. So always the relative permeability is the permeability of a material with respect to the permeability of free space. So mu r is going to be defined as mu by mu naught, where mu is the permeability and mu naught is the absolute permeability. Since it is the ratio of two permeability values, it is dimensionless. Mu r doesn't have any units. Next one, permeance. Permeance is nothing but the conductivity, the reciprocal of the reluctance. That means the conductivity of the magnetic flux is called as permeance. So the reciprocal of reluctance is called as permeance. We can represent mathematically permeance as 1 by S. And what are the units here? Ampere turns meter per Weber. The units of S or reluctance is Weber per ampere turn meters. Since the permeance is the reciprocal of reluctance, the units will also be the reciprocal of reluctance. So this is permeance. Now what are the definitions that we have studied? The first one, magnetic circuit. The next one, we studied about MMF, magnetomotive force, which is equivalent to N into I. Mathematically, we represented MMF as N into I, ampere turns. Next, we studied about magnetic field intensity. H is equals to MMF per unit length. Magnetomotive force per unit length is called as magnetic field intensity H. Next, we studied about magnetic flux pi. After that, magnetic flux density, which is nothing but magnetic flux per unit area. Next, we have studied about permeability. Permeability, which gives the relation between B and H. Next, we studied about the relative permeability, which gives the relation between permeability of a material and permeability of free space. So these are the definitions or terms we have studied now. Now, what is the unit of MMF? The unit of MMF is ampere turns. The unit of magnetic field intensity, ampere turns per meter or Henry. Next, what is the unit of flux? Webers. And what is the unit of magnetic flux density? Weber per meter square. And what are the units of permeability? Webers per ampere turn meter. And this is dimensionless quantity, unitless. So these are the terms we have studied and their units. Now try to relate the quantities. One more term we have studied is reluctance. Reluctance is nothing but MMF by flux. And the units of reluctance is ampere turns per Weber. So these are the terms we have studied. If you observe here, from this expression B, what is the value of pi? Pi is equals to B into A. Okay. Now from this expression, what is the value of B? Mu into H. Now if you take the reluctance is nothing but MMF by pi. Now what is the formula for MMF here? MMF is equal to H into L. So MMF can also be written as H into L. But according to the definition, what is MMF? N into I. So N into I is also equal to H into L. From this, we can write H is equals to Ni by L. So we are going to try to relate all the terms involved here. So we know that H is equal to MMF by L, magnetomotive per unit length. So from this expression, we can write MMF as H into L. So MMF as H into L. But according to the definition, what is MMF? Ampere turns, N into I. So when you equate this, N into I is equal to H into L, we are going to get the other formula for H as Ni by L. So H is equal to MMF by L or Ni by L. If you consider B is equals to mu into H. In place of H, try to write this one, mu Ni by L. Now what is S here? The reluctance is MMF by pi. So MMF is N into I. And what is the value of pi? B into A. We have calculated the value of B, substitute here. Then the reluctance becomes N into I divided by mu N I divided by L into A. So this Ni gets cancels. Finally, you are going to get L divided by mu into A. So the reluctance, other formula for reluctance is L divided by mu into A. Actually, I told you that the reluctance is equivalent to resistance. Okay. What is the formula for resistance in electrical circuit? R is equals to V by I. Here this voltage and current are the terms that are involved in electrical circuit from Ohm's law. So this S is equals to MMF by pi is the Ohm's law of the magnetic circuit, where R is equal to V by is the Ohm's law of the electrical circuit. Now coming to the other formula for R, we have also derived the formula for R in terms of their physical parameters, which is nothing but rho L by A, where rho is the resistivity, L is the length of the conductor, and A is the area of cross section of the conductor. Similarly, here also we can represent the reluctance in terms of the physical parameters. S is equals to L divided by mu into A. What is L here? Mean length of the coil. A, area of cross section of the coil. What about mu? Permeability. So if you compare these two formulas, R and S in terms of their physical parameters, instead of rho, we are having 1 by mu, and L and A remains as it is. So the other formula for reluctance, in addition to mmf by pi, is L divided by mu A. From this expression, so you can write the units as ampere turns per Weber. If you calculate the units of S from this formula, you can get same units, ampere turns per Weber. That's how you are going to relate the terms here. This is all about the various terms or terminology that are involved in magnetic circuit. Let us try to relate the terms that we have studied till now with respect to the electrical quantities. What is electrical circuit? It is a path traced by the current. In case of electrical circuit, it is a closed path where current flows. That's why we are going to define electrical circuit as path traced by the current. What about magnetic circuit? It is path traced by the flux. Path traced by the magnetic flux is called as magnetic circuit. Now, EMF is the driving force here. In case of electrical circuit, what is the driving force? Which drives the current? It is called as EMF. Electromotive force, which is also called as voltage. And the units of EMF is volts. Coming to magnetic circuit, MMF is the driving force here, which drives the magnetic flux, and units are ampere turns. In case of electrical circuit, we are having current, and what is the unit of current? Amperes. In case of magnetic circuit, we are having magnetic flux, and unit of magnetic flux is Weber. The flow of electrons. How the current is going to be produced? By means of flow of electrons. The flow of electrons decides the current in a conductor. And here the magnetic lines of force, the number of magnetic lines of force decides the magnetic flux. Resistance opposes the flow of current. And what is the unit of resistance? Ohms. In case of magnetic circuit, the reluctance opposes the flow of flux. And what is the unit of reluctance? Ampere turns per Weber. Next. So according to the physical parameters, R is equal to rho L by A. So in case of magnetic circuit, reluctance S is equal to L divided by mu A. In case of electrical circuit, Ohm's law is I is equal to V by R. In case of magnetic circuit, the Ohm's law is pi is equal to mmf by S. Current density, current per unit area. Flux density, flux per unit area. Conductivity is reciprocal of resistivity. Permeance is the reciprocal of reluctance. And finally, KCL and KVL applicable in electrical circuit. Here, KML and KPL, Kirchhoff's MMF law, Kirchhoff's flux law are going to be applicable in case of magnetic circuit. This is how you are going to compare electrical circuit with magnetic circuit.